Hello everyone, you are welcome to Literature Hub 247. This is a literature channel where literature is discussed 24/7. This video is about a non-African poem titled Still I Rise. The poem is composed by Maya Angelou. The poem is one of the recommended poems by WAEC and NECO, and it is in the new syllabus, the syllabus that covers 2026 to 2030. So if you want to be part of this journey, I want you to click on the subscribe button if you have not clicked on it before. If you are new on this channel, click on the subscribe button so that you'll be part of this educative journey. Because we are going to appreciate all the poems in that syllabus. Likewise, all the texts, all the recommended texts are going to be discussed comprehensively. Let's go on. This is the text of the poem. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may throw me in the very depths, but still, like dust, I will rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I work like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I rise. Did you want to see me broken? Bow head and lower eyes? Shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my heartiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard? 'Cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness. But still, like air, I will rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come to you as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the heart of history shame, I rise. Up from a path that rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gift that my ancestors gave, I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. That is the text of the poem. Now, the life history of Maya Angelou, that is the poet. Maya Angelou was born on April 4, 1928 in St. Louis, Missouri, United States of America. She was a renowned African-American poet, memoirist, and human rights activist. When she was 3 years old, her parents divorced. She and her older brother, Billy, were forced to live with their paternal grandmother in Stamps. She experienced racial discrimination while in Stamps, the southern United States. She knew the true meaning of being segregated. At the age of 8, Maya Angelou was raped by the boyfriend of her mother. This incident had such a great effect on her that she became mute for some years. During this period, she created interest in literature. She read a lot of literature books, including poetry. This had a positive impact on her. She developed writing poems and literature books. She faced a lot of challenges in her tender age, which includes teenage pregnancy. She later graduated from high school and her journey towards self-discovery began. Maya Angelou joined a touring production of the opera, that is Porgy and Bess, in the early 1950s. She afterwards traveled to Africa, where she engaged in journalism and teaching. Her first autobiography, titled I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings, was published in 1969. The book is the story of her early life, which includes the ugly experiences with racism. The book had great acceptance from the people. She also wrote many poetry collections, plays, and essays. Her life experiences reflect in all her works. During the inauguration of President Bill Clinton in 1993, Maya Angelou was chosen to recite a poem titled On the Pulse of Morning. She died on May 28, 2014, at the age of 86. Now, I identify some difficult words and expressions in the poem, and I also give the poetic meanings. What I tag poetic meanings to those difficult words and expressions. This will also help in understanding better this poem. Now, if you want to understand how to appreciate poem, these are one of the steps you need to take. You identify the difficult words and expressions in the poem and look for the meaning. You do research on some of the meanings so that you understand the poems better. All this I explain in one of my videos that I titled How to Demystify Poetry. In fact, if you watch that video, you'll be able to appreciate any poem that comes your way. So you can search for the video on this channel, or you request for the link to that video. Just write in the message box that I will send you the link to How to Demystify Poetry, and I will do that. Now let's move on. This is the analysis of the poem. In the first stanza, the poet addresses the oppressors here. She says, they might write negative things that have never happened about her. They may paint her in death. She's not bothered. She will still rise like dust. She compares her rise to dust here because dust always rises against all odds. That is, whatever happens to dust, it must rise. You may write me down in history. This is being quoted from the poem. With your bitter, twisted lies. You may drop me in the very depths, but still, like dust, I will rise, quote unquote. Now, in the second stanza, the poet asks the oppressors some questions concerning her. She asks them why they are annoyed by her braveness and achievements. She says, is it because she walks like somebody that has oil wells in her living room? She feels that the people are jealous of her because she lives a classical life. Now from the poem. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room, quote unquote. Now the third stanza. The third stanza is all about the hopes of the poet. She compares her hope to that of the sun and moon, which rise daily, whatever happens. She says she will still rise. Now let's quote from the poem again. Just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I rise. That is, the moons and the sun also have their own challenges. Despite that, they will still rise. Maya Angelou asks her distractors some questions in stanza 4. She asks whether they would like seeing her broken, dejected, with tears in her eyes. Do they like to see her weaken as a result of her soulful cries? Now from the poem again. Did you want to see me broken? Bow head and lower eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soul cries? Quote and unquote. So those are rhetorical questions. She's only expressing that, but she put it in form of a question. That's what we call rhetorical question in literature. The poem continues with her questions in stanza 5. She asks her detractors again if her feelings of superiority offend them. She advises them not to take it too bad because she feels happy, like she has gold mines in her yard. From the poem again. Does my heartiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, 'cause I live like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard, quote and unquote. In stanza 6, the poet says that the oppressors may say bad things about her. They may even look at her with insolence and kill her with their hate. She says she will still overcome and rise. Let's go from the poem. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I will rise. Maya Angelou continues with rhetorical questions in stanza 7. She asks the detractors if they are not happy with her beauty and body structure. Does my sassiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Quote and unquote. She asks whether they are surprised that she dances as if she has diamonds at the meeting point of my thigh. That's from the poem. That's interpreted to mean vagina. What do we have at the meeting point of a woman's thighs? What do we have there? That is vagina. She's asking them here whether they are upset the way she places herself in high esteem despite her beauty. She doesn't turn herself to a sex machine among men. So she's proving that she is a woman of dignity. In stanza 8, she refers her identity here, referring to herself as a black ocean. She says she has risen out of us of history shame, even when in pain. She also compared herself to the ocean which survives, welling and swelling amidst the tide. She refers herself as a black American here. That's why she calls herself a black ocean. Out of the heart of history shame, I rise. Up from a past that rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. The last stanza is about overcoming the obstacles placed on her way by her distractors. She says she's no more terrified and doesn't entertain any fear. She has risen. Let's go from the poem. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gift that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise, quote and unquote. So she has now risen into a daybreak where she is able to display her talent. She also says that she is the dream and the hope of the oppressed. She has finally risen. I rise, I rise, I rise. So that's the analysis of the poem. Now let's go to the themes. Still I Rise is an inspiring poem that addresses several pertinent topics that are embedded in the themes. These are some of the themes identified in the poem. The first one is endurance and perseverance. The poem discusses the importance of endurance and perseverance while facing challenges and difficulties. The poet remains steadfast in her determination to overcome her adversaries. She is aware that there are pains and suffering, but with determination, one becomes an overcomer. Another one is resilience and strength. The poem partner is presented in the poem as somebody that doesn't give down to her adversaries. She remains resilient and moves forward with vigor in the face of various challenges. The repetition of "still I rise" in the poem emphasizes our resolution and determination to overcome all obstacles and move forward. We also have self-confidence as a theme. The poem encourages the readers to have self-confidence and believe in themselves, whatever the situation. The speaker remains undaunted, despite the various challenges she faces from her detractors. Due to her self-confidence, whatever is said about her cannot overcome her inner strength. So she has confidence in herself. That's why she's not bothered about whatever is said or done to her. Also, self-esteem. The speaker is able to challenge the oppressors because of her self-esteem. She knows her worth and value herself in the society. There's also oppression and injustices. The poem is about oppression of the blacks, racism, and injustices against women, sexism. The poet is a civil rights activist who has fought against racism and injustices against women. This is one of the major discourse in her write-ups, including this poem. She doesn't leave herself to be oppressed and marginalized, and she still rises. So, I also identify some poetic devices used in the poem "Still I Rise," composed by Maya Angelou. The first one is rhetorical questions. This is used extensively in that poem. This is an expression in the form of a question. The poet uses this to engage the readers and challenge her detractors. Rhetorical questions are used in lines 5, 6, 13, 14, 17, 25, 28, and others like that. We have it there. Does my sadness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? Did you want to see me broken? Bow head and lower eyes? Does my haughtiness offend you? Does my sexiness upset you? At the meeting of my thighs? So the next one is repetition. The title of the poem is repeated severally in the poem. This is to show the resilience and the determination of the speaker. Repetition lends credence to the theme of overcoming the detractors. We also have the use of simile. This is when comparisons are made with the use of like or as. Similes are used by Maya Angelou in this poem to show how determined and resilient she is. They are used to express her ability to weather any storm created by the oppressors. We have this in lines 4. But still, like dust, I will rise. 7. Cause I walk like I've got oil wells. 9. Just like moons and like sounds. 11. Just like hopes springing high. 15. Shoulder falling down like teardrops. 19. Cause I laugh like I've got good minds. 24. But still like air, I will rise. 27. That I dance like I've got good diamonds. There's also the use of parallelism. This is a technique whereby similar expressions and words are placed side by side to create a special effect. A good example is lines 9 to 12. She writes, just like moon and like suns, with the certainty of tide, just like old springing eye, still I rise. We also have personification. This is giving the attributes of a living thing to the non-living. It is used in the poem to help the readers realize how one can rise above all obstacles, no matter the situation. Personification is used in stanza 6 of the poem. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness. But still, like here, I will rise, quote unquote. Let's imagine being shot with words. That is analyzing that stanza. When you imagine being shot with words, call somebody with eyes and kill somebody with it. This shows the extent of the challenges she faces and how she was bold enough to stand up against it. The last one there is enjambment. That is otherwise called run on line. This is a literary device whereby the ideas being discussed in a line of a poem is transferred to the other lines. There is not much use of punctuation marks as the lines run to each other. That's enjambment. Check the poem, you see that it runs on line. So we have appreciated Still I Rise, composed by Maya Angelou. If you have any question on this poem or any other poem or any other literature text recommended by WAEC and NECO, just send your question through the message box there, and the questions will be attended to. As I said earlier, if you are just joining this channel, try and click on the subscribe button so that you'll be part of this educative journey. You can also invite your friends to join us. You're also free to share my video on any social media platform. You are free to do that. You are welcome. Thanks and God bless.